Hello, House Hero Clan and Wham Fam, and welcome to Weekly Market Update. It's a real estate market update, actually. We go over what's happening in the Southern California real estate market, from news to notes to actual numbers. All those are all included today. We want to go over what's happening on the week of the 25th. Actually, we're just rolling up to the 2nd here. Wow, where's time flying, Ryan?
Right?
We're in October?
I'm just surprised I was on point enough to change the dates on this slide this week.
I'm impressed too.
Last week it didn't get changed.
Yeah, we were a year behind at that point.
Yeah, so if you're
right?
watching us last week, it looks like we definitely time flew on that one.
So as we've been saying every single week, there's just so much going on in the real estate market. I mean, there's actually so much going on in the world, but in the real estate market here in Southern California, I didn't ever think it could be any hotter than it is, and it just keeps proving myself wrong. It's hotter and hotter and hotter. I don't know what's happening. There are people that are so qualified that are coming out of the woodwork that have have approvals for properties, and there just is a huge housing crisis out here. We're seeing values skyrocket up there. Yep. It's really crazy. What are you seeing out there, Ryan?
Well, I just want to say, first off, we're interactive. So if you guys have any questions about the market, if you're hearing things, you're at work and people are talking about this or talking about that as far as the market goes, and you've got, questions, please, go ahead, DM us here, comment right now. We'll go ahead and answer those questions. But what I'm seeing in the market, in the number two, the two top questions I get right now are, when are prices going to come back down? Mm-hmm. And when is the fall winter season slowdown going to happen? I hear if I wait till the end of the year, things are going to get better. And it's funny because I was hearing that back in June, July, like, oh, I heard if I buy at the end of the year it's better. And I told them, not this year. Everything's getting pushed off, and it doesn't matter if you wait while prices are going up. Yeah, you might be able to only be up against 3 offers instead of 20 offers, but you still are going to be paying above what these prices are now when we were in June, July. So the people who got that, understood that, and bought homes, I'm very happy for them, because here we are in this mix. And as we see right now in the news, the fall market is the hottest ever. So traditionally people are, thinking about school now. School started, they bought all their, the hot season is spring, then summer, and everybody wants to get in that house before school season. They want to be in that district, whatever. And then they start their kind of nesting phase where, hey, look, we're going to go to do the back to school sales, all that stuff. Go out there, and they just pulls them all out of the housing market. And as we continue into the holidays, and as things get colder, and as the days get shorter, people aren't driving around looking at open houses. And this is completely different because, one is we don't have open houses, but 2 is kids are on Zoom. School districts aren't kind of all that important right now. And people are still out there hunting with a frenzy for homes. So we are not seeing that winter slowdown by any means yet.
This is, I mean, to be frank, most of the people that actually jumped out, the sellers and the buyers, when COVID hit back in March, April area, there were still buyers out there buying anything they possibly could.
Yep.
We still saw multiple offers. Now when I reach back out to those clients, and I usually try to give them somewhat of an update of what their home value is, and now it's been about 4 or 5 months, we're seeing an average of closing in on 10% equity. Think about that. Within 3 or 4 months, 10% equity. All of you brave souls out there that bought homes in, again, March, April, and May, You're seeing that huge bump. And this just is a product of the market being so hot.
Yeah, I had a client show me photos the other day of a whole bathroom remodel he was doing. We were talking about it when he was in escrow. But I remember right before, the COVID shutdown, I was getting ready to get a flight back into California. And, he's like, I don't know if I can go through with this. And, he had a small business, and he was really worried it was going to get shut down, and he wasn't going to be able to weather the storm long enough. And so we talked through it all, and basically the plan B was, hey, if you just rent this house out, it's going to cash flow. So why don't you just take it as a rental? You've always got a plan B. You can rent half the house and not the other. Get into it. This is a good deal. We saw how hard it was for us to get offers accepted before, and he took that plunge. His business didn't shut down. It was a little tight for a little bit, and it's on fire right now. He's doing his remodel. He's got his cash flow going. He's super excited. And that home's probably popped up about 50 grand from where he bought it from right now if you put it back on the market.
So what percentage is that, Ryan?
So that's, it's about 10%.
Yeah.
So actually it's probably even more than 50 to be honest with you. But it's, And, it's taking that little bit of risk. It definitely paid off. But you have to break down and show that, is there really risk? Like, here's your plan B. Can you rent this? Can you rent it for more than your mortgage? Can you rent it close to your mortgage? If you really got in a tight spot, could you rent out rooms right now? There's so many different things that if you're in a tight spot, and you're desperate, like, can you get by? And does it still make sense to put yourself in that position? And the answer was yes. I mean, he was staring down a big jump in potential rent payments because they were going to up his rent. And it was time. Like, he needed more room. And so, I was really, really excited, to see him in that. But one of the other questions, I'm sure you get asked, Troy, this a lot too, is, well, back in 07, prices are going up crazy like 07, it's going to be a bubble again. And, here's an article, this economist, Logan Shami, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I apologize for
from Housing
that.
Wire.
Yeah, from Housing Wire. He's awesome. I love watching him on Facebook. He, has said over and over again, this is not 2007. And he lists like 5 to 8 reasons why. And one of the biggest ones right here he's talking about is credit standards prevent bubble 2.0 action. So this is one of the things I talk to clients about all the time. When we're getting beat out for an offer and there's double-digit offers on the table, so you're one of at least probably 10, 11, if not 30, we're getting beat out with people putting 20% down, all cash buyers. So if the market were to drop 10%, what are they going to panic sell? No, they're not going to lose money just to sell because they got to live somewhere. Where are they going to go rent? These are real money buyers buying really real properties. This isn't 2007 when you had somebody coming into a new home track, where the builders were building homes and they had no demand for them other than speculators coming in and buying 3 homes at a time, 100% financing. You breathe on the mirror. Give me cash. I'm going to do the neg am option arm. I'm only going to pay $500 a month, even though the real fully amortized payment would be $4,500. They're losing equity every month on that because they know it's going to go up over the next year. And all of a sudden the music stopped and there was no real money in there. There was exotic loan programs out there and none of that is going on right now. You can't go get a neg am option arm. The only interest only is if you're putting big money down and you're going, hard money anyways. So you're paying 10% interest to get that benefit, So, nothing is, this time around is similar to 2007 from top to bottom. So, and here's another one I wanted to throw out there I know we don't talk on our side of the channel a lot about refinances, but I thought this was pretty cool. If you guys are out there, one of the best loan programs I feel is a VA loan. You've served our country, and one of the big benefits I feel like is your education you can go get through GI Bill, and VA loans. So, you've got 100% loans available to you. Part of the funding fee, if you're partially disabled, depending on disability, can be waived. And on top of it, you've got that ability right now to refinance that. So you probably were at already low rate, but these rates are getting lower. So if you guys are VA out there, definitely check into your loan and see if you can refinance it. And here's kind of what we led off with is no housing market slowdown as real estate agents report for a busy fall. So if you guys are out there in the market and you've got questions and you guys want a guide, Troy and I put together a complete home buyer's guide. And if you want to DM us on our messenger, it'll be on there. So you click on it. It's one of the options. Download our guide. Fill out your email. We'll get that sent out to you. All right, Troy, what do you have for us as far as the real estate market update?
Well, let's start with foreclosures. And again, it's foreclosures just bouncing off the bottom here. We're 145. It was 145 2 weeks ago, but last week was 155. So basically, we're just bouncing off the bottom. What we're seeing, if you actually pull up the list of foreclosures, is just homes that have been on this foreclosure list for months and months and months. And again, it's developers that are repossessing properties from,
flippers
that just went, flip went bad, right?
Yep.
That's a whole nother program.
They flopped,
right? There you go. And so, you have half projects. So it's not like you as a consumer with an FHA or a conventional or even VA loan can actually go in and buy it. We're looking for some, other developers that are going in there, or other flippers that have more experience to pick up these properties. The problem is that, again, the market keeps going up, so it has to make sense. And usually the foreclosure process and all the fees and all the penalties and everything it costs to do it, plus what was owed on the property, usually is much higher than what the market is right now or demands.
Yep.
So you're just seeing things that are on the market here for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and it just keeps this number kind of steady. If we were to strip these numbers out, we're probably a third or more are of those particular types of homes and properties and land. And so you would be bouncing off 100.
Yeah.
So let's.
Yeah, and I know one that popped up in one of my searches the other day. Client's like, "Hey, is this house already built, or is it gonna be built for me at the time I close escrow?" And I'm like, "No, those are the plans. That's a artist renditioning of the house. See those studs? You're buying those studs, and on top of it, that roof has been just a wood sheeting for at least a year. It's completely destroyed. You're gonna probably have to rip off the the roof, resheet it, and then have to figure out half the wiring was in. Like you're gonna have to go trace all those wires, understand what was going where." And then, who knows you even really like that layout and that plan that they put together. So they obviously were novices at the whole build and renovation game. I'm sure they're novices at the architecture game too. So a lot of those are just horrible flow, bad floor plans. The average buyer is not the best person to be designing a house. So
no.
You go into some of these, you go into some of these multi-million-dollar areas like, like the ranch and stuff, like Diamond Bar, and these people, they created their own house, and it's just an absolute monstrosity. They tried to max out square footage. Nothing flows. The rooms are compartmentalized. It's just a complete joke. So
it's called Frankenstein.
They're Frankenstein.
They're Frankenstein.
Yeah, they're Frankenstein's monsters for sure.
So the numbers. Let's get into the numbers here. This is Los Angeles County.
LA.
Again, we're all these are scary, scary numbers. We're looking at the pendings and solds outpacing the actives, which again just completely shows that we're in the hottest market, like I've said before, of all time. And it's consistently like that for the past 30 days. It's been consistently like that for almost 2.5 months. And prior to this, I haven't seen that until for 10 years. It has not been like this for 10 years. Easy.
Well, and it's not so, just to give you guys a quick breakdown, if you look at this last row here in actives, the green one, it's registering 1,411 active. Yeah. So in the last week, 1,411 homes went for sale in LA, but 1,572 were taken off the market. They went into escrow. So there was less new homes coming on to buy than were actually being sold and moved into escrow. And same thing, the ones that actually closed to escrow, that let's call them, they went into escrow maybe 30 days ago, 45 days ago. That number was 1,495. So we have a decreasing inventory week by week. We have not seen a week for the last few months where inventory has been actually increasing.
Well, it happened on September 7th, the week of September 7th.
That was the only week that we had.
We had less solds than we had actives, but that's the only one. Everything else is significantly outpacing the actives. Yeah, pendings are really scary.
Oh yeah, solds were, but that was kind of indicative of a month before. But the pendings, all of these four are all. Yeah, that's a good point though.
Skyscrapers, Orange County. Here we are again.
OC.
It's even though the county has less homes for sale and there's less solds, it just, again, we're outpacing solds, and pendings are outpacing actives, and it's just a broken record, really.
Yeah, it's bigger ratio too.
We're because of this and because of the demand, the buyer demand, we're seeing pick up right now because of a lot of buyers that sat on the sidelines when the COVID began, and then they either were furloughed or had a temporary job loss and they got their jobs back, and then you have to, before you can get a mortgage, you have to have at least one paycheck. So before you can actually qualify for a loan, you got to have at least one paycheck that's already done. Now we're seeing those people who had sat on the sidelines now are rushing in, and unfortunately, we don't have the statistic, and I don't think anyone has the statistic, but the average home that I'm seeing with offers on it has gone up about 33%. So before we were looking at about 7, 8 offers. Then we were looking at about 10, 11 offers. Now I'm looking at 20. The last home I showed Monday, the lady said she stopped at 40 offers. And it was a bad decision on what
Bad list price.
sell to pay for or to list it for. But this is what we're seeing. I mean, we're just seeing more and more people that keep losing out on homes be more desperate, and then now are putting in higher offers and then changing terms, or they're just opening themselves up to having less terms on favorable for the buyer. So yeah, San Bernardino County. I don't know where to begin here. This is really ugly. This is becoming very ugly. San Bernardino County and Riverside County are the affordable counties out there, as we just went through LA and Orange, and we're just seeing a mad rush for those homes. Any condition at this point, any kind of home, any financeable home, we're just seeing it. And I mean, look at the numbers, Ryan. What's the actives towards solds at this point?
Yeah, so this last week there was 364 homes went active. So new listings hit the market, but 637 went into escrow. So we lost almost 300 homes of inventory in that market, and 623 sold from the month previous. So again, we are dropping inventory. We literally have no homes left to sell at some point in time.
Yeah.
And Riverside's, much the same. So here's Riverside's numbers.
Yeah. Let's go look at the medium home prices.
Yeah, let's do it. In the meantime, I'm going to do a couple shout outs. What's up, Bill? I keep seeing broadcast interrupted, so hopefully you guys aren't having problems tuning into us. But Lou Romero, what's up, Becky? Good seeing you on here. And then Lou, we got two Lou's, Lou Romero and Lou Hiabara. What's up, Alejandra? Velazquez. What's up, Anna? Garita, good seeing you. One of our star fans out there. What do we got here, Troy? What do you have over there?
Well, we have medium home prices, kind of wrapping this all up. So what prices that the average home is being sold in the 4 different counties? Actually, it's the median home. So you have, let's say, 500, above it and 500 below it. So it's actually that one home right in the middle. These are average prices in Southern California. If we're looking at the top red line, it is Orange County. It peaked a couple weeks ago at 800,000. It actually kind of bumped over 800,000. It's down at 777. And as a whole, if I want to say this, in Southern California, we've reached an all-time high. The median home price in Southern California with all 4 of these counties is 600,000. It's the first time we've broke that threshold off these 4 counties. It is, and we don't see an end in sight. I mean, as long as we have a housing crisis, we don't have enough homes for the people that are absolutely approved, we're going to continue to see this go up into a point where the only way this market's going to stop is it's just going to outprice itself, and it's going to slow itself down.
Yep.
It's like a burning amber that just got
you burn all the fuel off, and then you're
right.
It's
just glowing at this point because it doesn't have any more fuel. We look at LA County. We keep seeing that tick up. It keeps ticking up and up and up. So we're right in the 740 range there for last week. If we're looking down here at Riverside County, 445. I mean, can we break 500? I mean, I'm questioning that because I think we're heading to 475 before the end of the year.
Yeah,
right?
well, and it's going to be interesting to see into the year if we hear word on Fannie Freddie bumping up their max loan amounts. So right. FHA, Ginnie Mae, Fannie Freddie, all of that, FHFA. It'll be interesting to see what they bump up loan limit wise. So, and
that will have an enormous effect on these values.
It will, because all of a sudden people can borrow more. They're just going to go through the roof, right?
Right. Yes, it's the next step up, right? If January might be the next step of hot months as we cool down, because the loan limits are holding people back from actually bidding for more or offering more. And then on the very bottom here, we saw last week it kind of peaked out for San Bernardino County. It kind of bumped back down a little bit. It's interesting, Ryan, that these numbers, and not so much in, again, LA County and Orange County, but where the builders are at. What I've seen with the builders, they're basically just not building any affordable housing, meaning these numbers we're seeing here, there is very little homes at these prices for new builders.
Oh, yeah, no.
New builders in Riverside County and in San Bernardino County, not counting the lower high desert, you're talking about their absolute starting is either low 4s or the early 5s at this point, and they have wait lists. They have, phase releases. They have everything they need to prove that they can continue to move up, and they're just making more money. It's just simply a dollar and cent proposition to them. They can. We've heard the first time ever the term half phases. We're having a half phase release. So instead
we can jack prices twice.
Right. So when they move prices up on a new phase, let's not release the entire new phase. Let's release half that phase one weekend. And then depends on the demand, which the last few I've been to in North Fontana, they've sold everything on that day. In fact, they sold everything within an hour. Then they say, everyone come back next weekend and we're going to release the other phase, which are typically $5,000 even more on top of that. So it's a way for them to make more and more money, the builders. And again, those numbers don't even reflect these are all resale homes that we're showing you here. And these are resale home numbers.
That's a great point. Yeah. New home builds don't even reflect in those numbers. Awesome. You guys, please join us on Tuesday when we go live. We're going to cover one more of the 5 things you absolutely have to be looking at when you're out there looking at new homes or resale homes for that matter. So it's going to be HVAC. So there are certain things when you walk around that house that are going to be telltale signs on your air conditioner and heater. And you need to kind of pay attention because that's going to dictate whether or not you're going to have a huge replacement cost right when you get into that house. So join us Tuesday. If you guys haven't already subscribed and followed our page, please do so. That way you get alerts when we go live. And other than that, if you guys have any friends or any enemies that might be interested in this, please send this on along.
Well, everyone, thank you guys. Have a good weekend. Stay cool. It's hot as hell out there, and be safe.